Welcome back to the channel, Rare Coins History, another exciting episode where we dive deep into the fascinating world of United States coins that could turn ordinary pocket change into something truly extraordinary. Today, we're going to uncover the hidden story behind one of America's most familiar coins, the Jefferson Nickel, specifically from the year 1972. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a 5-cent coin, how valuable can it really be? Well, get ready to be surprised, because this small nickel could actually be worth a lot more than you imagine if you happen to have the right one with a special mint mark and in perfect condition. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the incredible journey of the 1972 Jefferson Nickel and discover how this humble coin could be worth a fortune today. The Jefferson Nickel has been a staple of American currency since 1938, named after the third President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson. Designed by Felix Schlag, this coin carries with it a deep sense of American history and symbolism. The obverse, or front side, of the nickel proudly displays a left-facing portrait of Jefferson himself, his serious gaze embodying the strength and vision of a man who helped shape the nation. Above his portrait are the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," along with the year of minting, 1972 in this case. The reverse of the coin features Jefferson's home, Monticello, a neoclassical architectural masterpiece that represents his intellect, taste, and contributions to American culture. These design elements, combined with the long history of production, have made the Jefferson Nickel one of the most iconic coins ever circulated in the United States. But what makes the 1972 Jefferson Nickel stand out among the millions of nickels minted across decades? The answer lies in the mint marks and the subtle variations that occurred during production. In 1972, Jefferson nickels were struck at 3 different U.S. mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint coins carried no mint mark, while Denver coins bore a small D, and those from San Francisco carried the letter S. These little letters, often overlooked by casual spenders, hold enormous importance for coin collectors and numismatists. Certain mint marks, especially when paired with rare minting errors or pristine condition, can transform an everyday nickel into a rare collectible worth thousands, or even tens of thousands, of dollars. During the 1970s, coin production technology wasn't as precise as it is today, and minor errors were surprisingly common. Some 1972 Jefferson nickels were struck with weak details on Jefferson's face or Monticello's columns, while others showed doubling, where parts of the design, like the inscriptions or the steps of Monticello, appear doubled due to a misalignment during striking. These double die errors are among the most sought after by collectors. A strong doubling on the words Monticello or 5 cents, or even on Jefferson's eye or profile, can turn an ordinary nickel into an extremely rare and valuable treasure. Now, let's talk about condition, because when it comes to coin collecting, condition is everything. A 1972 Jefferson nickel that has been in circulation, scratched, worn, or tarnished is typically only worth its face value of 5 cents. But if you happen to find one that has never been used, a coin in uncirculated or mint state condition, it can be a completely different story. Collectors use a grading scale called the Sheldon scale, ranging from 1 to 70, with MS 70 being a flawless coin showing no signs of wear under magnification. A 1972 Jefferson nickel graded above MS 65, especially one with a strong strike and brilliant luster, can fetch impressive prices on the collector's market. Combine that with a rare mint mark or a striking error, and you're looking at a true gem that could be worth thousands of times its original value. The beauty of coin collecting is that you never really know what you might find. Many people have discovered valuable nickels in old jars, rolls from the bank, or inherited coin collections that have been sitting untouched for decades. That's why it's always worth taking a closer look at the details. Check the mint mark carefully, look for the small D or S just to the right of Monticello on the reverse side of the coin. Examine the surface for any signs of doubling or unique markings that might make it stand out from the rest. Even slight imperfections that occurred during minting can dramatically increase the coin's rarity and desirability. It's fascinating how a small piece of metal, something most people wouldn't even glance at twice, can carry so much history, artistry, and hidden value. The Jefferson Nickel is not just another coin, it's a piece of America's legacy, representing a time of economic stability and post-war optimism. The 1972 edition, in particular, has become a favorite among collectors who appreciate both its design and the potential for valuable varieties. For those who collect coins seriously, it's not just about the money, it's about holding a tangible connection to the nation's past, a symbol of craftsmanship, and a timeless artifact that tells a story about the people who used it and the history it has survived. There's something almost magical about realizing that the change jingling in your pocket could hold secrets worth uncovering. And in the case of the 1972 Jefferson Nickel, that secret could be life-changing. While most of these coins are worth just a few cents, rare versions in mint condition, with strong strikes, clear details, or unique errors, have sold for astonishing amounts at auctions and to private collectors who are willing to pay top dollar for rarity and perfection. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of one of America's most collected and often underestimated coins, the Jefferson Nickel. But not just any nickel, we're talking about the 1985 Jefferson Nickel, a coin that many people overlook every single day without realizing that it could be worth a fortune if you have the right one in your hands. So grab your magnifying glass, sit back, and let's uncover the story behind this small but mighty 5-cent piece that could be hiding a massive secret in your pocket change. The Jefferson Nickel has been a cornerstone of American coinage since its introduction in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Its long history makes it one of the most beloved coins among collectors, not only for its design but also for its hidden varieties, minting errors, and surprising value potential. The 1985 Jefferson Nickel carries forward this proud tradition. While millions were minted and circulated across the United States, very few have survived in flawless condition, and fewer still hold the rare qualities that make them incredibly valuable today. The obverse of the 1985 Jefferson Nickel proudly displays the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, facing left. His gaze is calm but commanding, symbolizing leadership and wisdom. Above his portrait reads, "In God We Trust," and beside him, the word "Liberty" followed by the date, 1985. Below the date, you might find a small mint mark, either a P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or, in rare proof versions, an S for San Francisco. That tiny letter can mean everything when it comes to determining your coin's rarity and potential worth. On the reverse, you'll find Jefferson's beloved home, Monticello. The beautiful neoclassical structure is centered perfectly, with its dome and columns meticulously captured in miniature. Above it sits the word Monticello, and below, the denomination 5 cents and United States of America. The design, created by Felix Schlag, has remained a timeless piece of American art, symbolizing Jefferson's enduring legacy and love for architecture. Now, let's talk about what makes the 1985 Jefferson Nickel so intriguing. During the 1980s, the U.S. Mint produced billions of coins annually, but quality control wasn't always perfect. This led to a range of striking errors and variations that collectors cherish today. Some of the most notable 1985 nickels feature weak strikes, where the design details are faint due to worn dies. Others show doubling, where parts of the lettering or details appear doubled, creating a fascinating visual effect that can multiply a coin's value. One particularly interesting feature collectors look for on Jefferson nickels is the sharpness of the steps on Monticello. On the reverse side, if you look closely, you'll see a series of steps leading up to the building. Coins that show all 6 steps clearly defined are known as full steps nickels, and they are significantly rarer than regular strikes. The reason is simple: most coins from that period were not struck with enough pressure or precision to show all the steps clearly. A 1985 Jefferson nickel with full steps and in pristine, uncirculated condition can command incredible prices at auctions and among collectors. The mint mark is another important factor to consider. The Philadelphia Mint, marked with a P, and the Denver Mint, marked with a D, both produced millions of these coins. However, it's the condition and any unique minting error that can elevate one coin above the rest. Proof versions from the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S, were specially struck with polished dies and planchets, giving them a mirror-like finish. These coins were not meant for circulation and were sold to collectors directly, making them rarer in high grades. If you happen to come across a 1985 Jefferson Nickel, take a close look under good lighting. Examine the lettering for any signs of doubling, especially on the words Monticello, 5 cents, or E pluribus unum. Check Jefferson's eye and hairline for extra outlines or shadowing that could indicate a double die error. These small variations are often overlooked but can make all the difference in determining whether your coin is worth a few cents or a small fortune. Condition plays an enormous role in value. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, with MS 70 representing a flawless coin. A 1985 Jefferson nickel that has been well preserved, with no scratches, bag marks, or signs of wear, can be graded as MS 65 or higher. Coins like these are rare because most nickels were used in daily transactions, jingling around in pockets and cash registers for decades. Finding one that survived in perfect condition is a true numismatic treasure. Collectors are drawn to the 1985 nickel not only for its potential value but also for its charm and historical context. The mid-1980s were a time of transition in American life. Technology was advancing, culture was shifting, and coins like the Jefferson nickel were quietly marking that era in the nation's history. Every tiny detail on this coin tells a story, from Jefferson's steady profile to the steps of Monticello representing progress and perseverance. Over the years, certain examples of the 1985 Jefferson nickel have shocked the coin collecting community with the prices they achieved at auctions. When coins in top condition, or with distinctive errors, surface in the market, collectors are willing to pay top dollar to add them to their prized collections. It's not uncommon for these coins to reach thousands, tens of thousands, and sometimes even more when rarity, demand, and flawless preservation align perfectly. What makes this story even more exciting is that these coins are still out there, circulating quietly among billions of others, waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. So don't underestimate that nickel you find in your pocket or change jar. Take a few minutes to inspect it. You might just be holding a piece of American history that's far more valuable than it seems. Imagine this: a coin minted in 1985, just 5 cents in face value, something most people would never give a second thought to, yet in the world of numismatics, the right Jefferson nickel from that year, with perfect condition, full steps, or a rare minting error, could be worth an astonishing $90,000. That's right, $90,000 for a simple 5-cent coin that could be sitting unnoticed in a drawer, jar, or old coin collection right now. Today, we're focusing on one of the most collected coins in American history, the United States of America Jefferson nickel, specifically from the year 1964. At first glance, it looks like any ordinary 5-cent coin, something you might find rattling around in your pocket or resting quietly in a jar of old change. But don't be fooled by its simple appearance. This coin carries a fascinating history, and under the right conditions, the 1964 Jefferson nickel could be worth far more than you'd ever expect. So, let's dive deep into the story behind this remarkable piece and discover how this seemingly ordinary coin could turn into something worth a fortune. The Jefferson nickel has been an American classic since it replaced the Buffalo nickel in 1938. Designed by Felix Schlag, this coin pays tribute to one of America's most important founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson. The front, or obverse, proudly displays a left-facing portrait of Jefferson, dignified, calm, and timeless. The words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," are etched gracefully beside him, along with the year, 1964. On the reverse, we see the image of Jefferson's cherished home, Monticello, a symbol of his brilliance and his deep appreciation for architecture and knowledge. Above Monticello is its name, and below it, the words, 5 cents, and United States of America, with the national motto, E pluribus unum, placed neatly above the dome. Every detail in this design speaks of Jefferson's enduring legacy, making this coin not just a form of currency, but a piece of American heritage. The year 1964 holds a special place in the story of U.S. coins. It was a year of transition and change in the nation's minting history. The demand for coins was skyrocketing, and the United States Mint faced an enormous challenge to meet the growing need for circulation coins. To address this, millions upon millions of 1964 nickels were produced, making it the highest mintage year for Jefferson nickels up to that time. The Denver Mint alone struck over 1 billion coins bearing the D Mint mark, while the Philadelphia Mint, which produced coins without a mint mark at the time, also created hundreds of millions. On paper, this makes the 1964 nickel seem extremely common, but as any coin collector knows, rarity isn't always about how many were made. It's about how many survived in perfect condition or carry something unique that sets them apart from the rest. The real magic of the 1964 Jefferson Nickel lies in its details, condition, and special varieties. During this era, the mint was under immense pressure to keep up with demand, which led to a number of striking errors, weak strikes, and die varieties that collectors have been chasing for decades. Some 1964 nickels display doubling in the lettering, known as double die errors, which can be seen in areas like Monticello or 5 cents on the reverse, or even in Jefferson's features on the obverse. These doubling effects occurred when the die used to strike the coins shifted slightly between impressions, creating a fascinating layered appearance. Coins with such striking errors are highly collectible and can command impressive prices. Another factor that dramatically affects the value of the 1964 Jefferson nickel is the clarity of the steps on Monticello. On the reverse of the coin, the small staircase at the base of the building is an important indicator of strike quality. Coins where all 6 steps are visible and sharply defined are known as full steps nickels, and they are incredibly rare, especially from this year. Because of worn dies and the pressure to mint quickly, most 1964 nickels left the mint with weak details. Finding one with clear, full steps, no signs of wear, and a bright, unblemished surface is like finding a needle in a haystack. Collectors pay huge premiums for these pristine examples, as they represent the finest level of craftsmanship from an era of mass production. Let's not forget about the mint marks. The 1964 Jefferson nickels were struck at 2 main mints, Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, marked with a D. The mint mark is located on the reverse side, just to the right of Monticello. Although most people overlook it, this tiny letter can make a massive difference in determining the coin's rarity and value. Certain 1964 D nickels are known for having stronger strikes or unusual errors, while others may feature repunched mint marks, where the D was struck more than once, slightly offset from the original impression. These details may seem minor, but to collectors, they're what transform an everyday coin into a prized treasure. Now, condition is everything when it comes to coin value. Most 1964 nickels that you'll find today are heavily circulated, scratched, dull, or worn down after decades of use. These typically only hold their face value of 5 cents. But an uncirculated 1964 nickel, one that has never been used, carefully preserved with its original mint luster, can be worth hundreds or even thousands. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale, from 1 to 70, and anything graded above MS 65 is considered exceptional. Those rare few that reach MS 67 or MS 68, especially with full steps, are the ones that collectors dream about, the ones that command jaw-dropping prices at auctions. The Jefferson nickel is more than just a coin, it's a window into America's past. It has witnessed generations of change, from the end of the Buffalo nickel era to the introduction of modern minting techniques. The 1964 version, in particular, symbolizes the end of an era. It was the last year the U.S. Mint placed mint marks on coins until 1968, as the government sought to discourage hoarding during the coin shortage crisis. So not only does this coin hold potential monetary value, but it also carries a piece of American history that makes it special to collectors and historians alike. There have been some truly remarkable finds of 1964 Jefferson nickels over the years. Rare examples with sharp strikes, flawless surfaces, or extraordinary doubling have appeared in private collections and auctions, sometimes selling for amounts that leave even seasoned collectors stunned. It's astonishing to think that such value could be hiding in something so ordinary, a small coin, often dismissed as pocket change, capable of holding immense worth in the right condition. So, the next time you're going through your change or sorting through a jar of old coins, take a closer look at your nickels. Focus on those dated 1964, check the mint mark, inspect Monticello for those sharp, clear steps, and keep an eye out for any unusual doubling or unique details. You never know, you could be holding one of the rarest and most valuable Jefferson nickels ever struck, because believe it or not, a 1964 Jefferson nickel, under the perfect combination of rarity, condition, and minting detail, has been known to sell for an astounding $92,000. That's right. $92,000 for a simple 5-cent coin that most people would overlook without a second thought. It just goes to show that treasure doesn't always come in gold or silver. Sometimes, it's hiding in your everyday change. Today, we're uncovering the incredible story behind a coin that millions of Americans have handled but few have truly appreciated, the United States of America Jefferson Nickel, 5 cents, from the year 1975. At first glance, this coin might look like any other nickel you've ever seen, something you could easily pass over in your pocket change. But beneath its simple design lies a history filled with mystery, rare variations, and potential value that could shock even seasoned collectors. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you might just start checking your nickels a lot more carefully. The Jefferson nickel has been a cornerstone of U.S. coinage since 1938, replacing the beloved Buffalo nickel and marking a new era in American design. The coin's design, created by Felix Schlag, honors the third President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, a founding father, author of the Declaration of Independence, and one of the most influential figures in American history. Schlag's vision gave us one of the most iconic designs in American coin collecting, a coin that represents both the nation's spirit and the artistry of its minting tradition. The obverse of the Jefferson nickel, or the front side, features a proud and lifelike portrait of Jefferson facing left, his expression thoughtful and determined. Above his head is the phrase, "In God We Trust," while the word "Liberty" and the year 1975 are positioned to the right. These details have been present since the coin's debut, but every year has its subtle differences, making each issue a unique part of the series' long history. On the reverse side, you'll find Jefferson's Virginia home, Monticello, a symbol of architecture, enlightenment, and legacy. The detailed dome, columns, and steps showcase Jefferson's vision and America's craftsmanship. Surrounding the image are the words, E pluribus unum, Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. Together, these design elements create a coin that is more than just currency, it's a piece of living American history. Now, let's step into 1975, a time of cultural shifts, economic challenges, and global change. While the world was focused on politics, technology, and space exploration, the U.S. Mint was busy striking billions of coins to meet the needs of the growing population. Among them were the Jefferson nickels minted at Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia Mint coins bore no mint mark, while the Denver Mint coins carried a small D mint mark placed on the obverse, just to the right of Jefferson's portrait. It's this tiny letter, barely noticeable to the untrained eye, that often makes all the difference for collectors hunting rare variations. Even though millions of 1975 nickels were minted, the truly valuable ones are those with rare errors, variations, or exceptional conditions. You might be surprised to learn that the U.S. Mint, even with its advanced equipment, occasionally produces coins with flaws, double strikes, off-center designs, die cracks, or even double dies, where the design appears slightly duplicated due to misalignment during striking. For the 1975 Jefferson nickel, some rare examples feature doubling on the reverse lettering, particularly on Monticello, or 5 cents. Others show unusual die breaks that create raised lines or bumps on the surface, unique characteristics that can make a coin one-of-a-kind. One of the most sought-after details among Jefferson nickel collectors is the clarity of the steps on Monticello. If you look closely at the base of the building on the reverse, you'll notice a staircase. Coins with all 6 steps sharply defined are known as full steps nickels. These coins are incredibly rare because most nickels from this era were struck quickly with worn dies, causing the steps to appear weak or incomplete. A 1975 Jefferson nickel with full steps, especially one graded mint state, MS, 65 or higher, is a prize every serious collector dreams of finding. It's the hallmark of a perfectly struck coin, and the gateway to serious value. Condition is everything when it comes to determining a coin's worth. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, with MS 70 being a flawless coin. Most 1975 nickels have been heavily circulated over the years, suffering scratches, wear, and discoloration. However, those that were carefully preserved, perhaps forgotten in rolls or sets, still retain their original luster, the shimmering finish straight from the mint. These untouched examples, with sharp details and no signs of wear, are incredibly rare today and can bring astounding prices in auctions, especially when combined with rare minting errors or the full steps designation. The Jefferson Nickel, despite its modest face value, holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. Its design hasn't changed dramatically in decades, which makes finding subtle differences between years even more exciting. For 1975, the differences are often small, variations in strike quality, die wear, or surface texture, but to the trained eye, those differences can mean the difference between a 5-cent coin and a life-changing discovery. It's worth remembering that every coin tells a story. The 1975 Jefferson Nickel represents a time when America was reflecting on its past while stepping into a modern age. Each coin minted that year has its own journey, circulating through countless hands, witnessing everyday life, and carrying pieces of history that we often overlook. And yet, some of those coins, the rarest survivors, have managed to remain pristine over the decades, quietly holding value that most people could never imagine. Over the years, there have been astonishing finds of 1975 Jefferson nickels selling for huge amounts due to their condition and unique characteristics. Collectors are always on the lookout for nickels that stand out, coins that tell a different story, that were struck just a little differently, or preserved with extraordinary care. It's these rare combinations that make the world of coin collecting so fascinating, because even something as common as a nickel can turn out to be a hidden treasure. So, if you happen to come across a Jefferson nickel from 1975, take a close look. Inspect the mint mark, study Jefferson's profile, and pay extra attention to the steps on Monticello. You might need a magnifying glass or a loupe, but the effort is worth it. You could be looking at one of the rarest and most valuable nickels ever minted, a coin that defies its humble denomination and stands as a true collectible masterpiece, because believe it or not, a 1975 Jefferson nickel in the perfect condition, with sharp details, full steps, and rare minting precision, has been known to reach an incredible value of $88,000. Yes, you heard that right. $88,000 for a 5-cent coin that could be hiding right now in a jar, a drawer, or even your change. That's the beauty of coin collecting, where ordinary turns extraordinary, and history meets hidden fortune. So before you spend that next nickel, give it a second look. You might just be holding a piece of American history worth far more than you think. Today, we're diving deep into the mysterious world of the 1985 Jefferson nickel, exploring what makes this ordinary coin potentially extraordinary and how one small mint mark can make a massive difference in its value. Let's start with the story behind this coin. The Jefferson nickel has been in circulation since 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, and it features the iconic image of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse side. Designed by Felix Schlag, the front shows Jefferson's profile facing left, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty" beside him, along with the year of mintage, in this case, 1985. The reverse features Jefferson's beloved home, Monticello, with beautiful classical architecture and the words, E pluribus unum, United States of America, and 5 cents. Now, 1985 was not known as a year of major design changes, but something about the Denver Mint's production that year caught the attention of coin collectors. The D Mint mark, which indicates the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, is key to identifying these nickels. The Denver Mint produced millions of them, yet, as always, within large mint runs, mistakes can happen. And in the world of coin collecting, mistakes, or mint errors, often turn simple coins into treasures. Among the 1985 Jefferson nickels, there are some with striking anomalies, double die obverse, off-center strikes, and weakly struck mint marks. These small imperfections, invisible to most people, are what drive collectors crazy. A double die obverse, for example, might cause Jefferson's name, "In God We Trust," or even the date to appear slightly doubled. Such doubling, caused during the die creation process, makes the coin one of a kind. Other examples include nickels that were struck on the wrong metal planchet, slightly misaligned, or even missing part of the design due to die deterioration, all of which can drastically raise their value. So, what should you look for if you happen to find a 1985 D Jefferson nickel in your collection or pocket change? Start with the coin's condition, or what collectors call its grade. Coins in circulated condition, meaning they've been used in daily transactions, may not fetch high prices, but even a lightly circulated coin with a clear mint error can be worth hundreds. On the other hand, uncirculated or mint state coins, those that still retain their original shine and sharp details, are where things get exciting. A perfectly preserved 1985 D Jefferson nickel, graded by professionals at agencies like PCGS or NGC, can surprise even seasoned collectors. Mint state coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with MS 70 representing a flawless specimen. A 1985 D Jefferson nickel graded above MS 65, with a strong strike, full details of Monticello's steps, and no visible marks or scratches, is highly desirable. Collectors especially look for full steps nickels, where all 6 steps on Monticello are completely visible and sharply defined. Achieving full steps on a Jefferson nickel is difficult because of how the design was struck. The steps often appear faint or worn. Therefore, a 1985 D Jefferson nickel with full steps can fetch a premium far beyond its face value, and then there's the beauty of rarity. Some of these coins were struck with subtle die varieties or planchet flaws, creating a very limited number of exceptional examples. These rare coins are what auction houses love, the ones that make headlines. Even small imperfections, when paired with near-perfect condition, can skyrocket a coin's value, but condition and rarity are just the start. Historical context and collector demand also play a huge role. The Jefferson Nickel series is one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history, so collectors are always searching for missing years or mint marks to complete their sets. The 1985 D, despite its modern appearance, sits in an interesting middle period, not yet old but definitely no longer common in pristine form. That's why finding one with exceptional quality or a rare variety is like discovering buried treasure. Think about it. How many of these nickels have been tossed in jars, vending machines, and parking meters over the decades? Most have been worn down or lost, leaving only a handful in outstanding condition. And among that handful, some display minting errors so rare that collectors are willing to pay a fortune for them. If you're wondering whether your 1985 D Jefferson nickel might be valuable, start by examining it under good lighting. Look for that D mint mark near the date. Check for doubling on the letters, particularly on Liberty or In God We Trust. Inspect Monticello on the back. Do the steps appear complete and distinct? And most importantly, does the coin have a strong luster, free from heavy wear or scratches? If it does, you might just be holding something special. Now imagine a coin dealer or collector discovering such a coin in near-perfect condition with a dramatic mint error, the excitement, the bidding wars, the headlines. That's the world of rare coins, where one small detail can transform a common coin into a treasure worth a small fortune. And here's the stunning part: one exceptional 1985 D Jefferson nickel with a rare mint error and flawless preservation was valued at an incredible amount, $80,000. Yes, you heard that right, $80,000 for a single 5-cent coin. So next time you come across an old Jefferson nickel, don't just spend it without looking. Grab a magnifying glass, take your time, and inspect every detail. You never know, your 1985 D nickel might just be one of the hidden gems that could change your collection, or your fortune, forever.